What is going on, man? Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here. I've woken up at 6 a.m. to get this done because obviously time zones and everything. So, yeah, man, I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Let's go. Let's start with. Give me 1 second. Let me just make sure that we have no disturbances. Okay, good. And yeah, we should be. Let me just off my phone. All right, awesome. Let's go. Let's start with the first question, and that is, what made you pursue pro wrestling?
So I was 9 years old and I was just hanging out down the street with some neighbours, and one of them goes, "Oh, I've got this VHS tape. It's called wrestling." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I've never heard of this." So he puts this VHS tape in, and he was halfway through watching WrestleMania 16, and he was up to the three-way ladder match with the Hardys, the Dudleys, Edge, and Christian. And I sat there and I just watched that, and I was just mesmerized by what those guys were doing. And then I just saw, like, Jeff's performance in that match and just what he did, and his aura, his cool hair, his cool wrestling gear, the baggy pants. I was like, this guy's really cool. And then just from there, I just got more and more and more obsessed with it, and it just really took off from there.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, that's one of those dream matches. That's everyone's like top 10 matches. So it's awesome they got like a first real good match as your like first ever experience. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me about, you wrestling for the first time. You going to school for the first time. Tell me how all that came together.
So I was just messing around in the backyard with my friends, and one of my friends, he actually tried to train for pro wrestling, but he was like super young. He was 14 when he tried it, and his body just couldn't take it. His neck was always sore, his back was always sore, so he pulled the plug on that. But he could just see how eager I was, in the backyard and stuff. So he was like, "Man, why don't you try and go get trained and just see what it's like?" So I did. I was 15 years old. My parents took me down to this local wrestling school, which happened to be only 20 minutes from my house at the time, which was pretty ideal. And yeah, it just went from there. Like, obviously, 15 is pretty young. I look back now and go, man, 15 is probably too young to be, taking bumps and stuff. But I loved it. Like, I'd go to school and my neck was sore, my back was sore. I'd be slowly getting around. Teachers would be asking, what's wrong with you and stuff. And I just kept doing it. Like, you get used to the little aches and pains, and I loved it. I loved it so much. And like this period of time where we had to take a break due to COVID really just showed me how much I loved it,
Okay.
I remember I went and took my first bump in like 5 months, and it was just like, just climbing back into a wrestling ring. It was like that first day of wrestling school.
That's awesome. That's really cool to hear. Tell me about the first time you were about to step foot in the ring. Tell me the first time you found out you had your match requirement. Like, they told you, hey, your first match is with this guy. It's going to be in this venue. Tell me how all that came to be.
Yeah, so I was just training, and they said, okay, we have a show coming up in a few weeks. We think you're ready for that. So yeah, go get some gear and music, and we'll see you on this date. So yeah, I was like super nervous, and I had to sort out, wrestling gear and all of that. But yeah, it went well. I think it was just a basic little 6-minute match, but everyone was impressed, and it helped me get bookings elsewhere in the country. I remember someone's girlfriend heard about it or something, and they messaged that they lived interstate, and then they messaged me like a few days later, "Oh, we heard you had this good match, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to come wrestle here on this day?" And I was like, "Oh, wow, like already?" So yeah, that was awesome, man.
Awesome. And I love how you talk about your first match, and now we're going to talk about one of the most famous matches you've had. And I believe you had more than one. I believe, and I've seen most of them. There could be more that I haven't seen. Maybe they didn't get on camera. But you had an amazing rivalry with Will Ospreay. That was like one of my favorite matches to watch of yours. Tell me how that match. What did you learn from that? Will Ospreay is such a interesting talent to work with. It's fast moving, fast abilities. Tell me about matches like that. Give me some more matches that really held the spot like that one.
So yeah, definitely, I owe a lot to Will, man. Like just being in there with him, and he really just brought me up another gear. And it was like it was at a point in my life where I was just struggling mentally, and I was going to quit wrestling that month.
Really?
I was like, nah, like I'm done.
Wow.
I'm over it, whatever. And then me and Will went out there, and we had like this real special moment. And then like as soon as we got backstage, like I broke down, and he was like, "Oh, Mark, have I hurt you? Are you okay?" And I was like, "No, like I was gonna quit this shit." And he goes, "No, don't you?" He swore at me, "Don't you fucking dare," and all this stuff. "You're good. I'm gonna help you," and all this stuff. So, yeah, we've wrestled in 3 countries now.
Mm-hmm.
We wrestled in Melbourne. We've wrestled in the UK, and we've wrestled at PWG in LA. But I owe a lot to him, and he's helped me sort of try to be able to work that style, that fast-paced, boom, 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 boom type style. Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, he's awesome. I can't say enough good things about him, man.
It's amazing, that's something people don't know about, that you were ready to quit and then you had a match with that caliber, how much it was talked about, how much, and I know it was talked. I know that like after the match, a few weeks later, it was like talked about like crazy, correct? Like you probably had so many messages, I probably had so much stuff going around. And that's amazing. I feel like, and I saw them. You were relatively young. Your ring gear was still sort of like Buddy Murphy's NXT ring gear. Like it was stuff like that. So it was really cool. I like to hear stories like that made you keep going. So tell me some more matches that people haven't seen. Like I'm a fan, but if there are people out there that are getting to know you like for the first time right now, tell them a few matches that you definitely feel like stole the show or have some kind of impact in yourself.
Yeah, so definitely the matches of that me and Slex had, we had a good rivalry, and we're good friends outside of the ring, so we work just so well. And the fact that we've both been signed by ROH at the moment, like that's really cool. So definitely my matches with Slex. I had a really special match. It was early last year. It was Bronson Reed's last match before he went to WWE, and it was myself versus Robbie Eagles versus Bronson. The 3 of us, we used to travel to PWG together. We got really close as like friends. Just the 3 of us representing Australia in a way at the time. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the 3 of us just getting in there and having like a really special moment for. Before Bronson left was really special. And it's cool that the 3 of us have now gone on to sign with different companies. Like, that's really cool. You got Bronson with WWE, Robbie with New Japan. I've signed with ROH, but obviously, haven't been able to debut yet because of COVID. But, yeah, that was a really special one as well. I think people should check out. They put that whole show on YouTube, actually. It's one of the PWA shows.
I'll find it, and I'll put it in the link in the bio, so everyone can definitely check it out. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, man.
All right, that's awesome. I do this because I love to hear stories like that, to hear stuff that relatively people won't be talking about. So I do want to know more about this because I feel like you just, you said it and you made it like a small thing. Tell me about ROH. Tell me, more about, because you had matches in ROH. There is definitely, a history. So tell me what you're most excited for with ROH. Tell me what you're looking into. There is a tournament right now for the Pure Championship. Tell me more stuff about ROH, since that's where we're going to see more of you.
Yeah, man. So it was like a really cool full circle type of moment, because I think every young wrestler, they're always like, I have to get to WWE, whatever. And for a very long time, that was my focus, because my best friend is there. So I was like, I want to be there with him. But then the ROH thing happened, and then I sort of sat there and thought about it, and I was like, well, hang on. When I was 21 years old, I flew all the way over to Philadelphia by myself to attend an ROH seminar tryout camp. And that weekend, Jay Lethal was one of the guest coaches. Then you fast forward to, I think it was August 2018, I wrestled Jay Lethal in Scotland for ROH. So then I was like, okay. And then obviously the ROH thing happened. I wrestled Matt Taven in a multi-man match in Mexico. And I remember as soon as we got through the curtain and, we sit down, before he even takes his gear off, he goes, are you signed anywhere? I said, no, I'm not. He goes, okay, cool. I've just messaged the bosses at ROH. I think you'd be great there. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. And then obviously with Marty taking over, things just sort of, I guess, changed there. And then I was trying to keep in contact with them, and they knew that I was coming over. I was meant to come over for a 6-week tour.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're just like, oh, we'll give you, we want to sign you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, wow. So that was awesome. It's just a shame that the way the world's gone, I haven't been able to get over there yet.
Yeah.
I was supposed to debut on pay-per-view against Slex. We were both really excited to do what we do on a bigger scale to a more worldwide audience. But hey, this is the way the world is at the moment. So honestly, I'm just excited to just get there.
Of course.
But they've been treating me so cool. They send me free stuff, little things that we do for them. They still pay us. It's really cool, and I'm very excited to just get there and just start that next chapter of my career. Things are just sort of on pause at the moment.
Yeah.
But I've tried to look at the positives of everything, and I've relocated states in Australia so that I can still go to the gym, I can still wrestle, because where I'm from in Victoria, it's really bad there, and yeah, I had to quickly get out.
Understandable, no one predicted this would happen. No one predicted there'd be a global pandemic, but your time will come. Everyone will be waiting, including me. I'm gonna be watching. When it happens, it happens. It's gonna be a big one. But I like how you brought it up. Jay Lethal was the one who contacted you. He was like, I'm gonna go call the business and all that. How cool is that, to knowing that you have people that protect you? Because it's one of the scariest things is the locker room. A lot of locker rooms are very different. Some people are like, I want to get here, so you're gonna get in my way. And others are just really kind. How does it feel now, knowing you have such a great locker room that people are just like, I'll get a good word for you, and we'll try to get you on? How does that feel, knowing that the locker room there is so safe in that way?
It feels awesome. That's what you want. You want a locker room of just good dudes, good brothers that just all want to go out there and kill it, represent the company, and then just come back and enjoy everyone's company. But I had some of my friends actually wrestled on their last UK tour, and a lot of the guys were sitting there going, man, where's Brooksy? We need Brooksy in ROH. That'd be awesome. And then my friends were messaging me saying, oh man, Marty's putting you over, Taven's putting you over, Brody King's putting you over, they all think you should be here. And I was kind of thrown away by that. So that felt cool. So I'm just excited to be a part of the locker room and hang out with everyone. And yeah, I've heard that everyone there is just so cool.
Awesome. And I gotta bring this up, even though, it's like baby steps. I'm like pushing you from like where you are now. But one of the greatest things I love about ROH, even though, before the pandemic, there was a lot of contracts, there was a lot of negotiation, a lot of trust was broken. One thing I love about ROH is that they are good teamwork kind of people. They would easily work with others, and they're currently working with New Japan right now, with every Friday giving out some of their roster. You got Brody King, you got Flip Gordon there right now. Have you ever had any? I mean, it's a dumb question because I'm sure you've had interest to go to New Japan, knowing that you have friends there. But it's like, has you ever been close enough to getting into a New Japan ring? Because I know you would have amazing matches. Plus, they are looking for U.S. Or just American, not Japanese-based wrestlers.
Yeah, New Japan would definitely be a really cool goal, man. And as soon as the ROH deal happened, that was one of my thoughts. Like, okay, maybe I'll be able to go to New Japan one day. That'd be really cool. And then, like, I did get a few people tweeting me going, oh, well, I hope Brooksy's going to be in the Battle of the Super Juniors. Like, that'd be awesome. I mean, I've sort of, they've seen me back in my, like 3 years ago, because they came to Australia and they did some tryouts in Australia and stuff. And, like, I took part in them, and, they saw me, but I was pretty young then,
Of course.
So who knows, man? Like, it'd be cool to be over there hanging out with Will and Robbie.
Join Chaos, huh? Oh, wait, actually, no, that's a question. What group would you join? If you had, let's say you were sent to Japan, what faction would you be a part of? Would you be a Bullet Club, LIJ, Chaos? I'm curious. I bet no one's asked you that before.
No, I see, that's another thing that people have tweeted me about. It'd be cool to be in Chaos because my friends are in it, obviously, with Will and Robbie there. But I remember when they were doing this reveal of this new member for Bullet Club, and a few people were like, oh, yeah, it's going to be Adam Brooks. And I was like, what? Like, how do people think that? So, I don't know. I think, me personally, it'd probably be Chaos. But if you ask more of the fans and stuff, I think that they would say that I would suit Bullet Club more.
Well,
that's a hard one.
That's your choice to make.
Yeah, that's kind of a hard one.
All right. Well, let's leave it there. There's still time to pick up the pieces. You'll still get those tweets, and one day we'll get an answer.
Yeah.
All right. So here's a game I like to play with a lot of my guests, and I'm gonna name you a company. You're just gonna name, and I know it's hard to name only 5, but I gotta name me 5 wrestlers from each company that you want to wrestle, or you have wrestled and you want a rematch, or a next match, like to keep the story alive. All right.
Right. Okay. This could be fun. Sweet.
All right. So let's start with the big companies. We'll get to like named ones. So let's start with WWE. Let's go with NXT. From NXT, who would you want to face?
Okay. I'd love to wrestle Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, Finn Balor. Let's wrestle Bronson again. That'd be fun. I love Bronson. Who else? Let's throw in... what's he wrestle as in NXT? Swerve.
Isaiah
I wrestled in the UK. He's a really good dude.
All right, yeah. Awesome. All right, that's a. I would love to see that. I would love to see a 6-way match. All right, let's go to SmackDown now.
SmackDown. So obviously Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, Daniel Bryan. Who else is there? Oh, let's wrestle Matt Riddle again. I loved wrestling Matt Riddle. He's a funny fella.
All right, awesome. And let's go to Monday Night Raw.
So Raw, definitely Buddy Murphy. Seth Rollins would be cool. Who else is on Raw? Mysterio. Rey Mysterio. Who else is on that show? Jeez, I haven't watched it in ages.
Man, Buddy's gonna be disappointed.
Oh, I mean, I watch it for him. I flick through and I watch his segments. Is Keith Lee's there, isn't he?
Keith Lee is there. Yeah.
I've wrestled Keith Lee before. He was lots of fun to wrestle. Chuck him in there again. And then, who else is there? Maybe a Randy Orton? I think I would learn a lot wrestling a Randy Orton.
You maybe would want to wrestle Randy Orton? I've never heard anyone go, maybe I'd wrestle Randy Orton. I feel like Randy Orton would be like everyone's like number one. I feel like...
Yeah, I'd probably go him because I know that Buddy's wrestled him and he learned a lot from him. He's pretty intimidating, but yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Okay, Randy Orton, it is. All right, I'm afraid now. Those were the easy ones. I'm afraid to go low now. All right, let's talk about MLW. Are you familiar with MLW's product?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I know a few guys there.
All right,
I wrestled for them once.
All right.
MLW. All right. Alex Hammerstone.
Of course.
Is it Jacob Fatu?
Yeah, Jacob Fatu. Yeah.
That Jacob Fatu. Who else is there? No, he's not there no more. Who's the middleweight champion?
Middleweight. They just changed it too. I think it's Richard.
Is it a guy called Myron Reed?
Is he still the champion? I guess then he is. I mean, I've been very busy, but he might still be the champion. I know they make shows now, but he might still be the champion. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him wrestle in Chicago. I'd wrestled my match, and I was watching his match, and I think he wrestled TJP, and I was like, this guy's pretty cool.
We got to talk about that too. After this game, we got to talk about you in the independent circuit. You've made, especially last year, you made such an impact there. Like every weekend, I'd see promotions with your face on it. Like PCW. I've seen like you and TJ had an amazing match. There's a lot of stuff we got to talk about. But let's finish.
Yeah, man.
Let's finish this little game. I'm worried that I'm putting you on the spot here. If you're not into it, we can always stop and just go to something else.
I'm just trying to think of two more guys. Can they be previous people
Yes, they can be previous people, yes.
Okay, so let's say Teddy Hart would have been fun.
Okay.
And MJF. I like MJF.
It's not confirmed. It's not confirmed if he's no longer a part of them, but they never gave him the goodbye. Like he just left without any because he's part of the dynasty. So I don't even know if he's still there or not, but that's a good one, MJF. Why would you, I just gotta ask, why would you want to wrestle MJF? Why would that be on your list?
Because he's just a good, he'll probably hate me for saying this, but he's just a good dude. Like, we met in England and we kind of just hit it off, and he's actually helped me out, over the years. He pushed for MLW to sign me, actually.
All right,
years ago, so he's a really good dude.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, the people that help you out, those are always, that's the biggest, especially in a company like this. That's always the terrifying thing. In wrestling, everyone wants to be in the position of the company champion. You know what I mean? So it's always so hard to find supportive people that would help you out instead of just feeding their ego more. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure you've met a lot of people that probably weren't so helpful and just the complete opposite.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty good in Australia. There's not really many people like that. But obviously you hear stories and stuff, man.
All right, awesome. Well, let's talk more about... So I wasn't going with the game, but I feel like we're going to stop with the game because I feel like I'm making you sweat. So let's just do something else. Let's just talk about your career. Let's talk about, not counting this year, because obviously there, the pandemic, everything before the pandemic, what has been the highlight? Like, because you're growing, your career has been growing more and more and more, and you've been to places, you've been to so many promotions. I'm sure there's promotions that you never even thought of to be a participant in, and you participated there. So tell me a few matches that you never thought, or no, a few matches that just helped your year out, like a match of the year, like a good couple matches.
I definitely think my match at CMLL last year helped get more eyes on me. That was just like an awesome experience. It was me and Mecha Wolf 450 against these two fellas over there. I cannot remember their name, but man, what an experience that was. I remember I got to Arena Mexico and I just looked at this building, and it was the biggest arena I've ever performed in. I think it's like a 16,000 seat arena, and it was half full. So I want to say there was about 6,000, 8,000 there. And man, what an experience, man. Like, just the language barrier, working with these guys that don't speak English. Yeah, that was awesome. And then as soon as we walked through the curtain, like, the bosses and the promoters are there, and they're all like, yes, very, very good and stuff. And I was like, okay. And then you get dragged into like a media room, and then there's just cameras in your face, and then they're asking all these questions in like Spanish, and I'm just standing there all awkwardly like, oh, what did they say? Thankfully I had Mecha Wolf with me who can translate everything. So yeah, that was awesome. That was an awesome experience. I really enjoyed going to Mexico.
Yeah, to have a tag partner like Mecha Wolf, that must have been a high flying match. You and him as a tag team. I never even pictured that, but that must have been.
Yeah, man, and it was like it was really weird because it was one of those. Apparently, this is normal over there, but it's like a 2 out of 3 falls tag match.
Mm-hmm.
So when they were explaining it to me, that I was like, oh, so then there's just like a break. And he's like, yeah, like there's a break, and then the girls dance, and then the bell rings, and then we start again. And I was like, oh, okay.
I got it.
But yeah, that was awesome. And then I'm just trying to think other big matches,
I like the match with TJP. That's definitely one of my like top 10 favorites. It was just a great, interesting match. You both have the charisma of like fast-paced wrestling, technical base. That one was really good. I'm really a fan of.
Yeah, I enjoyed wrestling him. He was really cool, man. He was awesome. That was fun. That's a really good company as well, PCW Ultra. That place is cool, man. I think, yeah, like stuff along those lines, really.
All right. You don't have to get too in detail, but I will post a lot of your matches, and people will definitely check them out. Check more of you out. Tell me about what was supposed. And I hate asking this question because it like brings out like somewhat of anger. Tell me what was supposed to be the highlight of the summer for you. Tell me what match you were excited for and got canceled, and you're hoping for it to come back to another opportunity.
Yeah, so obviously being able to wrestle Slex on that worldwide stage at ROH, that would have been really cool. That would have really brought more eyes onto the both of us. It would have brought more eyes onto Australia. And then there was plans for Supercard of Honor that sounded so awesome.
You're killing me.
And unfortunately, they didn't happen, but I hope they do happen.
Right.
So yeah, it's really just the ROH stuff I was excited for, and then I also won the Melbourne City Wrestling Championship back in Melbourne. I only got to defend that twice, and there was like big 9-year chase trying to get the belt. You finally get it, and then a global pandemic hits, and you can't really defend it.
Yeah.
So, I was excited to represent that, but everything's just on pause, man.
All right, all right. Well, before we, we're winding down because I don't want to hold you for too long. I know you got a busy day ahead of you. It's literally just started. But tell me what we could see for the future when it comes to ROH. Do you want to be a singles competitor because you do a lot of work as a singles competitor, or would you be willing to go for the tag division? Would you willing to try out as being a tag team partner, or are you more based on trying to be a singles competitor?
Man, whatever works, whatever the company, you know, sees for me, I'm happy to do. But I've been a singles wrestler pretty much my whole career. I've had a few tag runs as well, so I can tag, but I prefer being a singles wrestler. I like getting in there by myself, doing my thing. But one thing that I would really like to do there, whether it happens or not, I don't know. But there's 3 Aussies signed with ROH now. If we could just do like a little 6-man title run or something together, even though one of them's a girl, I did hear Marty saying stuff how he wants to try intergender. So if the 3 of us could get a little run as the 6-man, champs, that'd be just a really special moment for the 3 of us, for our country, because, a lot of guys have gone to WWE. We've gone a different path. It'd just be a cool little moment, I feel.
It's funny because then you have to change the name of the titles. It can't be called 6 men anymore,
Oh, I don't know. Just this, I don't know, 6-person belts or whatever.
I'm messing with you. All right, so let's go down to the end, and that is merch. I'm a huge merch guy. I know a lot of other people are merch people. You got some insane merch. Those pins are dope. Love them. Tell people where.
Those sound pretty good, man.
They're insane. I like the design. It's like a Dragon Ball Z / I like it. I like it a lot. It's cool. But tell people where they can support you. Where can they buy your merch and what you have coming up. Because I know those pins are brand new. Those pins happened maybe 2 months ago, a month ago. So tell me what else you have in mind for merch or ideas or plans.
Oh, I see. I had this really awesome merch idea. I wanted to get custom thongs or flip flops.
Of course.
In other countries.
Of course.
We call them thongs.
And it's funny because literally less than a week ago, I've had the same conversation with one of my friends, and I'm like, I'll understand it. People might not understand it, but I'm gonna ask him to explain it. But you just did that, so. I immediately was like, I'm gonna have to ask him to explain it, but.
Yeah. So I wanted to get custom flip flops, but then Matt Riddle got signed, and I was like, oh damn, I can't do that. And then the pin idea, I kind of ripped that off Rhea Ripley because I saw someone made like a really cool pin of her, and I reached out and I was like, who made these? And she was like, oh, this person. So I was like, all right, well, I'm ripping it off. Sorry. So the pins turned out cool, man. But my merch is brooksymerch.bigcartel.com. I have a pro wrestling tee store. For any Australians that may be listening, I have t-shirts at wrestlermerch.com. That's kind of like the Australian pro wrestling tees, so you don't have to pay the crazy shipping prices of, from America. So they're my merch stores, and then my Twitter and my Instagram, which I need to rebuild because someone hacked both accounts and just like took over. It's a weird thing, and it sucks. Mainly for Instagram because, I had just over 7,000 followers, and I don't care about followers, but I had lots of content on there from 10 years of work, So
terrible. I'm so sorry. That's awful.
Both of my accounts are the Adam Brooksy. So, all my wrestling content will be there. And then some upcoming stuff. I'm currently in South Australia. I moved over here from Victoria so I can continue to wrestle, so I can continue to work out. I will be at the Riot City Wrestling Show on September 19th. That's where I'll be based all year because of the way things are. So, yes, Riot City Wrestling, they put their shows on YouTube. A lot of guys have come through Riot City Wrestling as well. You know, myself, Buddy Murphy, Rhea Ripley, she's from here. So, yeah, man, check it out.
Awesome. Everyone help rebuild his social media accounts. That's a big
There we
deal.
go.
Everyone do that. I'm going to put it all in the, in the info in the bio below. So everyone's going to do that. All right, man. Other than that, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you everyone for listening. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you for having me, man. It was a pleasure.